Hey everyone, hope you can see me because I'm having some internet problems trying to connect and then disconnect, so hope this goes well. We'll keep our fingers crossed. I'm Pam Savage and my business name is Young at Heart Creations, and I have a painting business. I do paint parties and I help you live try to teach you how to get all this erased off here, how to paint and have fun with it like I do. This is what we did last night. A little mason jar with a bee, and I've still got votes coming in on what I'm going to put here. So far it looks like B-E-E, kind, is winning. So that's probably what's going to go up there, but that's what we did last night. We learned 2 or 3 new techniques on it, and it was so much fun. That'll be available in the craft show in November. So that's our little mason jar sunflower. And the technique that we did on this last night was kind of a dry brush streak. So we're going to do that again tonight. I've already done it on the piece that we're doing, but I'm going to show you how on poster board how to do it. So it was definitely a Monday all day long for me. busy, 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 and just so many things going on. But as I told you last night, we're leaving for vacation on Saturday, going to be gone a week. So I wanted to go ahead and jump on and paint with you again. Now on this one tonight, we may not get it completely finished because there is a little bit of detail in it. But I did want to go ahead and get it started, and we may have to do part 1. And then when I return back from Branson in a couple of weeks, we may have to finish part 2. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Have not done this in years, what we're going to do tonight, so I'm kind of winging it, and you're going to wing it with me, and we'll see how it turns out. But sometimes those end up being the best pieces. Not even positive what colors that we're using. I'm just going to start pulling from things and see what we end up with. I'm going to change browns on this one. I just noticed I grabbed the wrong brown. There we go. What we're going to do tonight is a I guess you call it a grapevine wreath. And hi, Leanne. Hope everybody's had supper, or maybe you can watch while you're eating supper. I don't know yet. But so what we're going to do tonight is a little grapevine wreath, and we're going to do, I'll show you in just a second how to do some of the dry brushing on there. And I've got a little picture. Let me grab something over here real quick. We did kind of the same technique on something tiny, little bitty canvases. Isn't that cute? It's so little, but we did 120 of these for our Ladies' Day. I believe it was last year. And so kind of the same technique, just flowers. And remember what I told you, anytime you put color and greenery together, it just automatically starts looking like plants and flowers. So I think it's going to turn out. We'll see. Let me get logged in over here right quick. We can get us going. Okay, so it'll catch up here in a minute, and my cheeks are red. It is almost 100 degrees here in Texas today. Leanne, what is it there in Canada? Is it warm or is it cold? See, I think Canada and I just think snow all the time. So I doubt you're having any snow here in June, but that's what I was wishing for today. Okay, so we can get the comments up here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong and not getting comments coming up on my iPad so that I can see your comments over here, but just going to keep playing with it till we get it right. But again, my name is Pam Savage, and I am with Young at Heart Creations. I started my business probably 3-4 months ago as far as going live and paint parties and things like that. And it's just growing and by leaps and bounds. And sometimes it's growing faster than I can keep up, which is a great problem to have. But I've got so many friends and family that have been so supportive, and I appreciate them so much for that. So what we're doing tonight started out like this. Now we did one of these a few weeks ago, and we did it, we made it look like planks across, just like wood planks, and we painted welcome on it. But tonight, this is what the background looks like. just kind of a plaid, I guess you would call it, but it's just a dry brush technique. And what I used on this is just an old brush that I usually don't even clean it out. I just let it get kind of scruffy, and the scruffier it gets, the better. So that's what I use to do this with. I just put a little bit of paint on my plate and just kind of daubed it on like this. Put it on and then kind of daubed it off. Just got enough on there, and I didn't even measure. I just started streaking. Now the harder you press, the more paint that you're going to see on there, and you're not going to get that streaked look, which is what you would want to do if you're doing buffalo plaid, but that's not really what this is. This is just dry brushing it. Of course, the more you press down, the wider that's going to get. The less you press, the narrower your lines will be. So I just started from here down, reload my brush, pounce it on there, down again, and then I just have about an inch and a half in between each one, and I just guessed at it. No measuring involved. So just kind of eyeballed it and then turned it around and went the other direction. Now the difference in this one and the one that we did last night, this one does not have the dark spots in it. The one we're doing tonight, everywhere these lines connect, that they cross, I painted it a little more solid, and it has the same color but just solid on there. So that gives you a different effect, just something totally different but yet the same. So what we're doing tonight, you could do a heart. You could do like this one that I just showed you. It's actually a little heart shape. But tonight we're going to do a circle, and we're going to do a grapevine wreath. And I guess that's what you call it, is grapevine. Okay, my flower poster behind me makes me look like I have ears, does it? But I've got several samples back here of different ways you can do the same flower shape, but just how many different ways that you can do the center and the petals, and there's just so many different little details that you can do, but just the same circle, just different effects on it. So that's what we're going to do tonight, work with some flowers. And again, I haven't done this in forever, so don't know exactly what we're going to put on it tonight, but we're just going to wing it and go for it. So we're going to do the circle, and so there's so many things around your house that you have that circle. I just used a paper plate tonight for the width that I want. I've used my dinner plates, my saucer plates. I use like cups, the round, just depending on the size circle that I'm needing at the time. So nothing really scientific about it. And I'm going to bring you down a little bit so you can see what's going on down here. Okay, so I've just kind of eyeballed again, not really measured. Just put it right in the middle and just took my pencil and just very, very lightly just put a circle on there just to where I can see it, just to kind of follow. And really not even completely necessary to do that, but it just makes it a little easier, especially if you're a beginner. It just kind of helps to have a guideline on there. So I'm going to even erase it just a little bit because it's a little dark there in some spots. Once we get our flowers and everything on, it's really not going to show. Okay, so make sure it's clean. So the first thing we're going to do, we base coated it in white. It took about 2 coats to do that. So base coated it in white, and then not sanded it, but we took our piece of paper from a grocery sack, or you can wad up a piece of wax paper and just rub it real hard, and that gets it smooth for you. So what we're going to do, and there's 2 different ways that you can do this. You can use a liner brush or a round brush. The liner is long and skinny. Flat brush, flat across, and this is a 3/4 inch, so it's not quite an inch. We're going to start out using this tonight, and let's see how it does. Let's see how it works for us. Now, a lot of people, let me get some paint on my plate here. We're down a little bit too low. Okay, so I'm going to do brown. Now you can use greens to do to make it look like a green vine, but tonight we're going to do the brown. So I'm going to start out with dark brown. This is actually Americana, and it's espresso is what it's called. And then I want a contrasting color, and this is khaki tan. And I'm just going to put a little right beside it there. And I'm just going to load that brush on both sides. I want to get both those colors there. And we're going to just blend it in, really work it in there. Okay, so I've got my brush loaded, and with my what's called the chisel end, that's the flat tip there. Now we're going to do it first on the poster board. So you want to, now I'll show you what a lot of people do, and I'm guilty of it too. I've done it so many times. But they'll come around and just make little swirlies, and then go back here and make swirlies. And it will look like a vine. It, you know, you'll do okay with that, but it looks a little more natural if, get out of our way. See if I can see this now where I started. And we're going to go just around, and we're going to have them broken. We're going to have them kind of break up a little bit. So we're going to start, and whatever color is at the bottom or at the top of it will be the one that covers it up. Whatever touches the board first, the other color is going to come on top of that. So let's lead with our light color, because I want a little bit of really brown on the top. So I'm just going to bring it out. Going to come down. I'll load that brush again. And we're just going to go around our circle. Just kind of have a breakout, but you do want them connecting to something. And let's come back over here and make some come out this way. And I'm switching my brush so that I get a little bit different variation. And all the way around. Come out from that stem. Now when you watch somebody else paint, it always looks so easy. And then you sit down and you try it and you go, well, that's not exactly how what I was waiting for or hoping for. Okay, so let's go around this way. And have some come out. Now I've got these a little bit flat here, fat there, but that's okay. Now if you use the liner brush, of course your vine would be thinner. I bought these blanks, these pieces, when we went to Nashville, and there's just so many different things that we've done with them. So many different designs you can do on so many different shapes. Okay, now we're starting to get our circular pattern here. You can't see my pencil mark, but it's very light there. And it does help to kind of keep you on track, because it's really easy to get going off in the wrong direction. And see how the different colors, how they're showing two different variations. Let's see if we could have some comments there. Nope. Okay. Alright, so I'm still leading with this light color on most of it, and then I'm turning it back and forth. So I can see my pencil line there. reload every few minutes, every few strokes here. And then I'm going to come back, I think, with my liner brush and put some smaller ones in here. I do need some new brushes. My brushes are starting to get a little feathered. A little more of that brown on there. Let's put a little more here. More coming out. Okay, and I think that's enough. This is hard to know when to stop on the vine. So let's take, that's enough with our wide brush here. And we've kind of got it coming down. And that's what's kind of fun about these, because you never know how they're going to end up. What shape you're going to, I mean, it is a circle, but you still have some variations of it. So I'm going to take my liner brush. And I'm just going to get a little bit of that dark brown on it. And I'm going to make some smaller vines coming out of these others. You don't want a vine just out there not connected to anything. You want it to be connected. So start from where you left off at another one or started with another one. Now some of these I'm going to make kind of a little bit curlier. Add a little more water to that. Just to give it a little more flow. Now a lot of these vines are going to be covered up once we get our flowers on here. My light's shining different tonight. I'm having a hard time seeing. Oh, let's go right here. And let's bring this circle around a little more. Okay, so I think we've got enough to work with here to get us some viney look. Paint's getting a little bit dry on that. Does anybody else have vacations planned for this summer? I know we didn't know what was going to be happening, if everything was going to stay shut down or open back up. So it's kind of hard to plan anything. Okay. So we've got our wreath. So obviously I think this will be the top. So we're going to put our flowers up there. And see the variation of the color. Okay, so when we're doing the flowers, you want to kind of balance them. Like if I put a cluster here, I'm going to put a cluster down right across from it, or in the same vicinity, in the same area. So let's go ahead and let's do some let's do some pink. This is vintage pink. So it's kind of an antique-y pink, I guess you would call it. Get my brush washed out there. And I've got my cup of water over here, and I always have a damp cloth that I keep my bristles damp on. Get that brown out of the flat brush. Okay, so let's start with a little pink. Won't take much. And I'm also going to put a little bit of white on there. Now you could go ahead and do some leaves first to kind of get where you wanted it placed. But I think I'm going to do the leaves next after the flowers. Okay, so I've got a little bit of white, a little bit of pink, and I think I'm going to go with my round brush. This is a number 6 round. So round kind of comes to a point, and I'm going to load on the bottom half of it the pink, on the top half or the other part I'm going to load the white. Now whatever color that you press down with on your piece, on what you're painting first, whatever color's on top, that's the most color you're going to see because it's going to cover the one under the bottom. So let's look at it on poster board. So let's start with the pink side down. I'm going to press down and lift up, press down. Now this white's not going to show really good on this white poster board, but you're seeing most of the white because that's what's on top. Now if I turn it over, then I'm going to see most of the pink. Now this is a white background, but we've got enough of the brown and the blue that I think we'll be okay. I think it'll show up. So let's put a little more of the pink on there, a little more white, and let's start right here. So we're going to just make little petals. I'm going to press down and lift up, press down and lift up. We'll kind of start our center. Just figure out where you want the center of your flower to be, and I'm going to press down, just make a little petal, and lift up. Press down and lift up. I'm going to reload my brush. Pink on the bottom, white on the top, and I'm putting pink down first. Down, lift up when you get to the center. Press down, lift up at the center. Well, that's a pretty color. I haven't used it before. I like it. Okay, pink towards the on the bottom half, and I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing here. Let me lift it up a little bit. Maybe you can see it. Okay, so we've got it down here. There we go. And pink on the bottom. I'm going to press down, lift up towards the middle. Press down, lift up towards the middle, and I think I can get one more petal out of that. Lift down and press up. Okay, so we've got our first flower. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I like to do them in clusters of 3s or 5s. I don't like to do even numbers. I think the odd numbers, they just seem to look better when you do things in odd numbers. Even when you're decorating candlesticks and things like that, when you do them in odd numbers, they just tend to do better. So I'm going to put another one, we'll put another one right under it. So I'm going to press down, lift up, press down, lift up. And you may end up with 5 petals, you may end up with 6 petals, just however the flower that you're doing at the moment whatever works in that space. Let me get a little more of that pink. Now the white's really coming through on that because it's really showing up on the brown. This is such a big piece, it's hard to keep it in the camera. Press down, up, press down, up. Okay, and I'm going to put one more out here. So let's put just a little more vine. I think we need some more vine out there. I'm just going to mix the two here and a little more over here. Okay, so let's put one more out here and that'll be our cluster for that side of, on that top flower. So my center would be about right here. So I'm going to start right here at the top of these two flowers and we're going to go press down, up, press down, up, put a little more white on there. And you know, with real flowers, they never all look exactly the same. Press down, up, all the way down. Two more petals on this one. Okay, so we've got our first cluster of flowers. Now let's go down while those are drying and doing it that way. I'll put a little bit of that white in there. You've already got your highlight with two colors, with that double loading is what that's called. Double loading on your brush. And you've got your highlight. Now I could have done the peach or pinky color in a darker pink. You can just mix all colors. And we may do a little darker center in there, or we may do some yellow dots. We'll see here in a minute how we're going to do that. So, but let's go down here, the same flower. So we're going to kind of come across, just eyeball it. Where would that be? Opposite. You want it opposite of each other, but the same cluster to kind of balance each other. So I'm going to get, again, I'm kind of flattening out my round brush. So I'm going to load it on the bottom, white on the top. And again, I'm going to start out with the pink on the bottom. And we're going to come right down here. And we'll start one right here. Down, up. Down, up. A little more white on it. Down, up. And really pressing down, down, up. Some of the petals are a little longer than the others, but that's the way real flowers are. Down, up. And down, up. Okay, there's our first flower there. So let's reload. And let's put one. Let's put it right here. Down, lift up to the center. Down, up to the center. And I think I'm going to get a full flower out of that load. Let's do one more there. So any vacations planned? Hi, Amber. I'll talk to you when I get off of here. So what we're doing tonight, and I know that you're going to like it because the background is the teal, and teal is Amber's favorite color. So, hi, Robin. This is what we're working on tonight, a grapevine wreath with lots of different little flowers on it. So you have to go back at the beginning and kind of see how we did the wreath. This is what we did last night, the little mason jar with kind of the same dry brush technique that's in the background. The only thing I did different last night was add a ladybug. We're still waiting on the voting to come in on what I should write here. So far the BEE kind, be kind is winning. So we'll see. List your favorite color there. What's your favorite color? Flower, or what do you have in your house? So right now we're doing clusters and we're double loading our brush. I'm using a round brush, number 6 round. This is the Low Cornell brushes, and there are some of my favorites. Vintage pink and white. The pink on one side and the white on the other. And we're just double loading them, and we're doing our flowers in clusters of 3 right now. So to do these flower petals, you just figure out where you want your center, about right there. So we're going to go down, whoops, pink on the bottom, down and up, press down and up, a little more pink, a little more white, and just go all the way around until you've met the other petals. So down and up, see that white coming through? Down and up, down and up. I think we can get a couple more petals. Press down, lift up, and then press down, lift up. Okay, so we've got our 2 clusters of flowers now. See how balancing them off of each other, kind of in the same spot, makes such a difference? And using that white, we've already kind of got them highlighted. There you go, you see that? Okay, now let's decide what we want our centers to be on that. Let's go ahead and do them yellow. So you can use the end of your paintbrush or the end of a pencil that's kind of dull and do it, but I'm going to use my little handy dandy daughter. Handy dandy daughter. Not my daughter, my daughter. That I get at Hobby Lobby. So let's use some primary yellow. And let's just put us some dots in there for our centers. It's not going to take much. And to do that, I'm going to use the bigger size, and I call it dip and dot. And you're just going to dip and dot. You want it in a little puddle. And then we're just going to put dots right in the center of it until you kind of cover up the back of the board that's showing through. Okay, one in the middle. And already it's looking like a wreath with flowers on it. So we're going to pull in some more colors here in just a second and do some different types of flowers. Now I'm going to put a little bit smaller one in that one there. Now remember, these dots do take a while to dry, and if you hold them up, they're going to run on you because they are thick. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Gives it that center of the flower look. One more. And I am just figuring this out how I go. It's been so long since I've done this. Had no clue what flowers we were going to put on it, what colors we're going to use until I got in from work and sat down and just started pulling colors. Okay. So I want to be careful and not run my arm on this. Now this is the bottom because of the way it just kind of comes down. We'll use this as the bottom. But those little centers made a difference in that. Okay, now let's do a different type of flower. Let's do the round petal flower. And again, we are going to double load. So let's do, I think orange will be pretty on that. And we're going to use orange and white again with the white. Just a little bit on my plate here. And get a little more white, different because that white's got pink in it. Okay, now for this one, I want to use Let's try the filbert brush. Now remember, the filbert brush is oval on the end. It makes an oval at the top. Okay, so we've got these bouncing this way. Let's start up here. And that way my arm's not in these that I just did because they're not dry yet. So let's go ahead and do the same thing up here, but we're going to do just a little bit different petal. Okay, I'm going to put the orange on bottom and the white on top. And I'm just going to, we're going to do kind of a U. So figure out where the center is. See if we can get this going here where you can see it. Okay, so we're going to go right here, and I'm going to make a kind of a U shape. And then I'll fill it in the center. Can you see that? And let me fill that in. And let's reload. These petals are probably going to take a reload on each one. Put a little more white on that one. And I'm going to go start where that petal stopped. And I'm going to go up and around. Up and around. Up and around. Up and around. And we're just going to fill those in. I'm going to fill them in all the way to the center. And I'm going to bring a little bit of that white in there. All to the middle. Let's put a little bit more white there. Okay, now that's a pretty big flower, so we may not need 3 of those. Maybe should have gone with a little bit smaller brush, but I think that's fine. Let's just do 1 of that, since that one did turn out so big. And this is how you just kind of plan as you go, unless you're working with a specific pattern. Hi, Shelly. I thought about y'all today. They opened up their lobby at our bank today at our branch where we are, and so they had people in the branch for the first time in a long time. Okay, so we're double loading. White on the bottom. I'm using a filbert brush. Orange on the top. And since this flower is so big, we're just going to come down here and do 1 flower just like it. So I'm going to start with orange on the bottom. Oh, and these are so pretty when you do one with roses. We're not doing the roses tonight, but the rose is so pretty on these grapevine wreaths. So we're going to come straight across from where that one is. So the same color, same type of flower. All the way around. Going to reload. White on one side, orange on the other. Orange is down. I got a little bit too much on that one. Around. You're just making a U or a C, I guess you would call it. 2. So that's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's got 5 petals up here. So we'll kind of do the same thing. 4 and 5. Okay, and then we're just going to fill them into the center. Pull that paint in. And I'm just mixing that white in with it. Just give it that natural highlight. Okay, so we've got our 2 orange flowers there. Now let's give those, you can get a little bit darker orange, and we'll give those a darker center. Burnt orange. That'll be pretty to do a center of those. And we'll use our liner brush. Now this one's pretty detailed, so again, we may not get finished with it tonight. Might have to do a part 2 when I get back from Branson. Okay, this is Americana Burnt Orange. So I'm just going to give some definition to those petals. And I'm just going to come around the outside edge all the way to the center. I'm going to plate over here so I can reach it. Just going to kind of outline them. All the way around. Just to give them a little more definition. Around. Just got my arm in the orange. Starting about where the center would be, come around. Okay. It's really warm up here, so I've got the fans going out in the hallway, and oh, it's making a good breeze, and that's the sound of that fan. All I need now is a porch swing to sit on, and I'll be taking a nap for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one here. This one's still just a little bit wet, but it's okay. And this petal's coming over that one. And all the way around. A couple more. And let's start up here. And then we can do the center in the same color. So I'm going to get my little flat brush, or round. We can use our round, our number 6 round, to do the centers in these. I just realized I've kind of got the colors on in my shirt that we're doing tonight. Remember when I did the episode where I showed you how you could just find color combinations and all kinds of things in your closet. So many different pretty patterns and color combinations. So I'm just putting a big center in these with that darker orange. And then just filling it in. And that's just with the round brush. Just a little bit. Now we can even dot just a little bit of the, we can dot it a little with the white. Let's get our dotter. Where did it go? There it is. I'm going to go the smaller one this time, but I'm going to get just a little bit of white on the end. Dip and dot, and I'm going to put a little bit of white just in those centers, just to kind of give it something fun. Now you can make your flowers look really realistic, or you can make them kind of whimsical like I'm doing tonight. Just your style, whatever you're wanting the effect to be at that, you know, at the time that you're doing it. Maybe it's a specialized piece that you're wanting to do for someone. Let's go ahead and put just at the tip of each petal, I'm going to put 3 dots of the white just at the top of each petal. Okay, let's come down and do this one. Just so many variations of flowers that you could do, and they're fun to learn how to paint, and just walk outside and there's just so much inspiration everywhere to do it. I don't know what the fever is this this summer. Well, I guess that wasn't a good choice of words, the fever, with all the virus going around, but puppy fever. Everybody seems to be getting a new puppy. friends at work have gotten them. I've got 2 coworkers that just got new puppies. My daughter just got one, and I've been seeing on Facebook so many people have been getting them. So getting good new homes. And they're at our animal shelter. It's just incredible how many puppies they have. Okay, so we've got our orange flower. Let's see what color we want to do next. Let's put, let's do some purple. Let's do just a little bit of purple on here. Now for this, I'm going to do, we're going to do some, what we called scumbling last night. We're going to do some pouncing. So I'm going to get my pouncing brush, and it's just an old brush that separated. And I'm going to do some pouncing down here to make it look like grape hyacinths or something like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of purple here. Ooh, that's a pretty purple. We're going to bright flowers. And then a little bit of white. And that lid, when I closed it, just got some purple on there. Always have your wet wipes available. You'll use those so much. You make a mistake if it's still a little bit wet. It'll come off so easy, and your clothes too. Okay, so let's get some white and put here. Now with this brush, whatever brush you're using, whatever one you're scumbling with, it's just an old one, and the scruffier it is, the better. On the bottom part, the bottom half of the brush, I'm going to put purple, and then on the top half, I'm going to put white. And let's see here. So purple here, white here, a little more purple, a little white. And let's do some coming down here. So let me pull this down just a little bit so you can see it. And hi Renee, we're doing a flower wreath tonight. Okay, so I've got my brush double loaded, and I want the white on the top and the purple at the bottom. And we're just going to kind of make it look like grape hyacinths, just kind of hanging. So I'm going to come up here and just start pouncing. Load again. I really want some of that white in there. And I want them kind of heavier at the top. And then just kind of hanging down, make them skinnier at the bottom. Okay, can you see that? And that's just by double loading and adding two colors. You can do it in blue to make it look like blue bonnets if you want them standing up the other way. Now I'm going to do another one to kind of balance it out over here. The smaller your brush, the smaller it's going to be. So let's do another one coming. Let's make that one a little bit bigger. Okay, and then we're going to come way up here. And I'm kind of making them in different directions, but I do want them to be separate. And let's put some white down in that. It's a pretty purple. That purple is, it's Anita's that I get at Hobby Lobby, and it's called Crocus. Yeah, Crocus. See how pretty that is? So I'm going to get them a little more rounded up here. Okay, now let's come down here and do the same thing down here. Whoops, purple on the wrong side there. Dry that off good. Okay, so purple, white, and I'm loading it pretty good. And I'm coming into the inside of the wreath as well. Now, you don't want to pounce super hard because it'll start getting muddy and you'll lose your white, your highlighting colors. I'll put a little more white up here now that I see that, how it's drying. Okay, just reload it again. Just making it fatter at the top. Okay, and let's do one on the other side. We might do, no, that's all right, we'll do it this way. Remember, tonight's just kind of wing it as we go. I had no plans on this. See how that white's showing up so much better against that blue and that dark background. Now turn my brush around, kind of give it that point. Okay, so we've got some grape. I guess you call them hyacinths. I'm really not sure what you would call them. So I'm going to come down here and make these kind of hang down. I had them kind of going in the direction of up. So let's do a little more white in there. Let's do a little more purple. Okay, I gotta stop. All right, now you can do the next step with the end of your paintbrush or your end of your pencil, but I'm going to use my little handy dandy tool that I have that goes ahead and does it for me. So let's put some, what color do you think I should put? We've got orange flowers, we've got some pink, antique pink, and the orange. What color flower do you think I need next? Now we're also going to need some greenery in here in just a second. So what color flower do you think would brighten it up and make it pop? Y'all let me know what you think. So we've got purple, orange, kind of a pink color. We could go with a brighter pink. I've got so many colors back here. We could go with a, ooh, this is pretty, with a fuchsia pink. Let's see, it's called Royal Fuchsia. That's a really, really pretty one. So let's do that. Let's go with that. What's your favorite color? When you're going to buy flowers, when you're doing your flower gardens, or when you go buy clothes, what's the first color you always are pulled towards? I tend to do the teals and the pinks. Okay, now I'm just loading this, and you're not going to have one of these. This was specially made for me, but you could use the end of your daughter if you have those daughters like I was using to do it. Just takes a little bit longer, but you could use that, or the end of your paintbrush or end of a pencil. But I'm going to go ahead and load mine. And let's see where we need a cluster. Let's do some. Let's just kind of go in and out here. And I'm going to do them in clusters of 3. And I think I'll put a lighter We'll see, maybe a lighter pink. I'm not using white as much to do little flowers because the background of this is so white that it wouldn't show up as well. And this just really makes it look dainty. And I'm kind of trying to keep it where I'm bouncing off each other. So I've got them here, here, so they kind of play off each other. And then we'll start putting us some greenery in here in just a minute. I wish I could find a company that would make these. They are really helpful. Okay, so I've got that there. Rinse that out good. Now for our centers, let's do a, let's go ahead and do the yellow centers. Now this is a little bit brighter yellow. This is banana cream, or a little bit softer yellow, I guess is what you'd say, the banana cream. So let's do that. I take it back. Let's use our pink. Let's use some light pink. Kind of a bubblegum pink. We'll go in the center of it. This is actually Anita's, and it's Princess Pink. So let's put just a little bit there. And we'll do a pink center. And I'm just going to use the end of this, but again, you can use the end of your paintbrush or your daughter. And I'm going to give each one a center, just a bright pink center. Just touching it right in the middle. I was telling them earlier, those of you that have just gotten on, this kind of wreath in a heart shape or any shape is so pretty with roses. Roses take a little bit of practice. I'm not super good at those yet, but I love trying. They're just so pretty, and you use that double loading method that we were doing a minute ago. Okay, so I'm just putting these pink centers in here, and that really makes the darker pink pop. Now we've been double loading on our flowers, so we really haven't had to do much highlighting on them. Okay, one more group here. These dotting is so much fun, but oh my goodness, it takes them forever to dry. And I'm constantly messing them up with my arm. Okay, so now let's do, let's put some greenery in there. I think we need some leaves. So I'm going to take my this is a number 10 flat. Each brand has its own numbering system. So a number 10 in this brand might be different than the number 10 in the, like for instance in the Low Cornell. So you just have to kind of to learn and look at what you're using. Okay, so let's do some little leaves. And let's go and use our liner brush first. And let's just do some little vines. Let's put some of the dark green in here. How's your medium green? Just make some more little vines, but this time a little green. And I'm using my Script liner brush. Little skinny long brush. I love this one for so many things. A lot of people are very intimidated by it, but it does so many things that other brushes just will not do. Mine's getting a little old. I need to break down and get me another one. But so let's put just a little bit of greenery coming, just a little bit here and there, kind of where the flowers are. Just a little bit here and there, just so they're not just floating in the air. Just put a little bit of green. Then we're going to go back and put some leaves. And everything's kind of going in the same direction. And then when you start putting that greenery in there, it really starts looking like flowers. Plants. Okay, so I didn't do really much with that, but let's now take our filbert brush, and let's see what it's going to look like if we do a leaf with the filbert brush. If we want to do a leaf kind of like we did the flower petal, down and up, we could do it that way, or we can do it with our flat brush. Load it up and start at the base, down, 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 and then twist it and lift up. And that looks more like a leaf to me. Press down, twist, and lift up. So let's do that. Hi, Rhonda. Painted just some orange flowers. Okay, so let's do our leaves that way. We're going to use our flat brush, and I'm going to double load it again. So we're doing a lot of double loading tonight. And I'm going to double load it in the dark green and that lighter, let's see, this is Hauser light green. So I'm going to put one color on the bottom and the other color on the top. So let me get a little more of this cleaner plate here. And I do go back through after I finish my lives and clean my paints up, and the brush is really good. So they're ready for the next round. So does anybody have vacations planned? I haven't seen anything. Anybody going out of state, or now that things are starting to open back up, do you have any big plans? Okay, so I'm going to put the dark green on the bottom, the light green on the top, and let's see what we can do with some leaves here. We'll just do a few here and there, and then we'll tie them in. I'm going to have them all kind of hanging down this way. So I want to press down, twist, 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 and lift up. Some more paint on there. And let's do one coming out from the flower. So I'm going to press down, twist, 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 twist up. Dark on the bottom, light on the top. And let's do one coming out this way. Pressing down, twisting, and lifting up. Okay, I know it's upside down, but see the difference just adding some leaves makes? Every little step just adds to it. And you've already got your highlighting in there because you've double loaded. So dark on the bottom, light on the top. My mom was going to watch tonight. She loves, you know how us moms are. Anytime your baby's doing something, you want to be a part of it. And she's always on here with me live. But tonight, her computer went down, so they've got it in the shop, so she's not able to watch. But okay, so let's get some more leaves. We need some around here. That light's kind of hard to see. Okay, so we're going to go down, twist, and out. I think I can get another one out of that. Go down, twist, and out. And let's see if we can get another one. Down, twist, and up. Okay, so we've got some there, and let's put some over here now. I'm going to reload. The dark on the top, I'm sorry, bottom, light on the top, And let's put some over here. So let's put some coming out this way down here. So I want to start kind of at the flower with the base of the leaf. Down, twist, and I almost dropped my brush. It's a big leaf. I almost dropped my brush and it went way over what I was going to do. But you know what? We're going to make it work. Okay, so down, twist about midway and up. And let's put one on this other side. We'll put it right over here. Down, twist, and out. All right, now I'm going to turn my board around because it's going to be so much easier. And I think, I may not do it while we're doing it here, but I think I may go in and tone, close your ears, Rhonda. I may go in and tone the orange down a little bit. We'll see, because these are kind of soft colors and that's a little bit bright. So I may go back over them just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get some more leaves around these other ones. And you can really fill it in with a lot more flowers, a lot different types. And we're going to come in where we did our little tiny flowers. We're going to use another brush and just do some little bitty leaves on that. So let's put one. Let's put one down here. Down, twist and up. Board's a little dry. And down, twist and up, down, twist and up. Okay, so we've got them around the big flowers. Now let's switch to a see what I've got over here. Get one of my little bitty flat brushes, a little bit smaller. All right, it's really a filbert, but I've kind of cut it so it's really more flat across because I needed it for something. So let's see how it does in making the leaf. Now I had the dark on the bottom and the light on the top. Let's switch this time, and when I press it down, let's do the light on the bottom and the dark on the top, and let's see what we get. So this, I'm just going to make some little leaves. We're not really going to do a bunch of the twisting. So I'm going to put the light on the bottom, press down, lift up, just pressing down, lifting up. And it may be a little hard for you to see, but it definitely makes it instantly look more like flowers. So down, up, down, up. Easy, easy touch. I'm moving my board to make it comfortable for me. Now they do have things called like Lazy Susans that are made just for painting, so you can move your piece around, but this one's so big I don't know that would even work for it. It might, but so you can move it around with you. Press down. And I'm just giving a little bit of green color in there. They're not even completely leaf shaped. Just enough that you know that they're there. Down. It's just so much fun with the double loading. Okay, I'm going to come over here so I'm not running my arm in it. And we're almost done with the little leaves. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get some little squigglies out of this this lighter green. I'm going to add some water to it to make it really inky, and I'm going to use my liner brush and see if we can just get some little swirls. And I'm just adding some of that light green, just like we did the dark green a minute ago. Just so they don't look so much like they're just floating in midair. I noticed something else that a lot of people are doing right now. I've seen so many new cars on the road, so they must be having some really good sales on cars right now, because I've been seeing a lot of them. We bought one, it was a year ago last month, and a Toyota Highlander, and it's been really nice for us. All right, so let's take some of our little brown for our vine. And I've already used it up here. And let's just kind of come over here so they look like they've got some vines with them. Get it a little wetter. Especially with the lining, you want it kind of an ink consistency so that it flows better for you. Just look like some of the vines are coming out of that grape. The hyacinth there. Okay, I think we need something right there. Let's do, I think red would be too bold. What color do you think we should add in here? Here's what we've got so far. Oh no, I'm going to put a little more purple, like the hyacinth. We'll do just a little more of that. That'll kind of be our filler, and that'll kind of balance it out. So get that really dry, because I don't want it muddy. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here with some more purple. Where's my purple? There's my purple. I knew I had some. I got like 3 or 4 different plates going here, and I think I can still just use what's on here. So this is kind of coming down. So let's get a grape purpley on the bottom. It's starting to kind of dry out just a little bit, but now let's just put a little up in here. And I'm going to do this one kind of hanging down. I'm going to do it the opposite way that I did the brush a minute ago. I've turned it around. that's going to be a really good filler. Okay, come right back over here. And let's do just a little here. And then we'll come right under that flower, that group of flowers, get a little more white on there. See what that does for it. And just a little more to that. Down here at our bottom, I need a little more white in it. A little more there. Okay, now let's do a ribbon. And we're going to do that using our liner brush. We're just going to do a very thin ribbon around it, and let's use that dark pink on it. Let's do that. So that fuchsia pink, let's use that one. And I want it kind of wet because this board is really, really dry. And this is our bottom. So I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to start making some loops. Got it a little bit wet because I do want it to flow really well. You can also use the medium. And I'm just pulling it out. Just really pulling it out to a point there. And then I'm going to come up here and just start making a ribbon bow. So I'm going to start where about the center of the grapes are, the grape pisons, and I'm just going to make a loop. Now this is kind of hard to do where you can see it, and hard for me too to do it at this angle, but we're going to try. Okay, so I'm going to reload my brush. Can't reach my paint. This is a big piece. Okay, so we're going to come down, around, and I'm going to do several loops. You can also use a little flat brush to do it and double load it and give you some highlights in it. So I'm going to come back around here and do, let's see, let's do one right here. So we're just going to kind of join it where it's in the middle. And again, I would be holding this differently, but if I do it that way, you're not going to really be able to see it. So I'm going to come back there where the knot is. And we need our streamers coming down. Loop it a little bit, and we'll put a big knot in the middle of it here in just a second. I'm doing some kind of loopies on them. This brush does take some practice to control it a little bit, but you can just get some effects with it that you just can't with others. So it does intimidate some people. I had one girl in my class that was terrified of it the first class. And by the time she had our paint party, and by the time we'd done the 4th or 5th paint party, she was just so good with it and just really enjoyed it. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to do white for the knot. And that's still just a little bit wet. I should have come a little bit higher with the ribbon, but it's going to be okay. And then we're going to mix some of that pink in there with it too. And I am sure I will go back and play with it a little more, but this just kind of gives you the idea. I mean, making that grapevine wreath, or just the vine wreath, you saw how easy that was, and just adding any kind of color and greenery to it just adds a lot. Now the ones I've done, I've put more flowers on them than not. Let me add a little bit of white to the ribbon here for highlight. You could have easily used the round brush here too, and double loaded it and gotten 2 different colors out of it. So once you kind of get the hang of the double loading, it really is fun. I'm going to turn this around here because I'm having a hard time controlling it. Okay, you see what we've got so far? Now you could write Hello Spring up here. You could get little ornaments to put in the with Velcro and change them out, like a pumpkin or a heart or just anything really. Okay, so we're going to let that dry just a minute. I want to put a little more of that white in the center there. And then I'll come back and put some of the pink around the edge of it. Okay, get it straight there. Okay, so we've got our ribbon. I think I am going to go over that orange a little bit with just a little bit softer orange. It's still orange, Rhonda. It's light coral. Light coral, so let me tone that down just a tad. It's all over me tonight. Let's see, let's use my little flat brush. Kind of go over those. Okay, so I'm just loading it with that light coral. And let's see what that does for it. And I may just paint over it completely and do a different color. Trial and error sometimes, you just never know. But I do think I like that color better. So I am just going to go ahead and base coat over it. And then I'll come through and put another one, and then we'll do the center a different color too. I think the center is okay with that darker orange. It's just all the other was just a little bit too bright for what we're doing for our other color palette. Okay, so I'm gonna let that one dry. Turn around here and do the other one. Yeah, definitely like that better. But the little flowers that we did where you press down, pull up with that round brush, so simple. I mean, those are just, you just really can't hardly mess them up. So I suggest that you get some poster board and just really start practicing those strokes on it, because those are just so much fun, and you can just put those on anything, add a little bit of greenery, and voila, you've got some flowers. I came home, I haven't had supper yet, but I came home, threw some more laundry in. I started laundry before I left for work this morning, trying to get everything packed for our vacation. So I've got laundry going. Had hubby run in town to do some errands. And it's so hard to stay out of the craft room. I just want to paint. Seeing if Rhonda was fussing at me for messing up the orange. But anyway, I've got to put the paintbrush down and really get serious tomorrow about getting our stuff packed. I don't want everybody waiting on us, especially since we don't have the excuse of having kids and things that we have to pack. That wouldn't be very good if everybody else with all the kiddos and dogs were packed and waiting on us. Okay, that is going to look so much better. It's going to take me a couple of more coats to paint it. And I may do something out here. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll see. Well, it's covering pretty good. May have to let it dry and come back at it. But these flowers are just, once you kind of get the hang of it, you can just put them on anything and dress it up. We may do some, let me get into my, oh, here they are. The easy flowers that we did the other night. I've got these buckets, and I think it's going to be so cute to paint flowers all around it, and you could just use it to put anything in it. Paintbrushes, a flower, utensils, makeup brushes, anything like that. So if Dollar Tree has buckets, I think Dollar General has buckets. So if you want to go grab you a bucket and some paint, now I will use some metal paint that I have, but I also have used just the regular paint to do them with. And we'll just do simple little flowers like we did on the mason jar that we did the other night. And it just really makes a cute little gift. You could do it Christmassy, springy. It would make a cute little gift with candies in it or something to take to someone. Okay, this is going to take about three or four coats, but I still think it looks better. I just think the orange was too bright, and I'll come back and shade some colors on it. But that's what we've got. It's hard to see that bow, and I haven't done this in probably 15 years with the wreath and the placement. I see some things I might go back and tweak just a little bit on it, but you get the idea of how cute it can be on windows. It's so pretty on windows. You do it on canvas, do it in the heart shape, put a pretty initial in the middle of it as a wedding gift, house numbers. You could just do so many things with it. But that, with that different background, that just kind of brings it up. And so I might go in and put a little bit darker of this color in here and make some little flowers on that. But that gives you the idea, the basic idea. And I don't think we'll have to do part 2. It's not completely finished, but we've been at it now for about a little over an hour. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night on this. And please don't forget to sprinkle. Let me pull you back up here a little bit. There we go. and sprinkle with your friends and whoever. Oh, there's my bright flower board. See how many different ways you can do it? Just so many different color combinations and things that you can do. So while I'm gone on vacation, find you a bucket, something metal that you can paint some flowers on, and we'll do that here soon. And then I've just got so many things that I'm going to get really busy here in a few weeks starting on Christmas stuff. So we'll be doing some snowmen, and we'll be doing some gingerbread men, lots of different things like that. So if you don't have wood to paint on, grab you a piece of poster board. I practice on poster board all the time. Shiny side works best. So practice on that, and watch these tutorials, anybody else's tutorials that you can. But it's just so relaxing, and it just gives you something to do, gives you something to share with your grandchildren when they come. So it is so much fun. But I think that's all for tonight. I'm going to go in and tweak it just a little bit, and it'll be available at the craft show. So you guys, if I don't talk to you again, I'll probably go live at least once or twice while we're in Branson just to say hi. Can't stay away from y'all too long, so I'll try to do that. But hope you learned something tonight. Give me some feedback. I need some comments on there. That helps me with Facebook if I get some comments from you. So let me know what you thought about the color combination. Is there anything that you would like to learn to paint that I haven't done yet? I know we haven't done the buffalo plaid, and we'll be doing that soon. So give me some suggestions. I would love that. Have you started painting or tried to paint anything? I know Rhonda, she did the Mod Podge with the napkins. Said she got her stuff to try that after watching the video. So that just really makes my heart just melt when I hear that somebody is doing something because they watched me, how much fun I have doing it. And so you can do it, and I cannot wait to get started back with our paint parties. But if you have any questions, let me know. I do go back and look at the comments and try to comment back to you or reply to you. So got lots in the works for the next few months, so hope you'll all be available to watch. And don't forget to sprinkle the love with the videos. Please let all your friends and everybody know so that they can kind of tune in too. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.